This is Water Valley Blue Devil Classic Football. This game features the Water Valley Blue Devils and the Bruce Trojans. The game was played on September 27th, 2002 at Bruce. The final score was Water Valley 19, Bruce 14. And now here's Doug Carter and Lane Hart.
Captain scored a nice game first for the Blue Devils, number 30.
Sunflower seed out of that. General, before we start, do you have any questions on anything now? All right. Water Valley won the toss before the ball game. You deferred and you're going to kick this time. You're going to get football. Now, what we're going to tell you guys, you guys take care of Water Valley. You're in charge out here. Now, you're going to send you for that purpose. You guys do the same with Bruce, all right? If you'll do that, we're going to stay out of your way and play football. Leave these flags in our pocket, but we don't want to have to get them out, all right? Work hard. Take care of Bruce. Anybody gets going crazy, work on it. Same thing here. Sam, anything else? All right, Bruce, if you'll put your back to the clock, Water Valley, if you'll come to you, face the clock. I'm sorry, the other way around, There we go. I'll get it right in a minute. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Water Valley won the toss, deferred.
Shake hands. Good luck to you and have a good football game.
To start the game, Bruce will be on offense.
The Blue Devils won the toss and deferred until the second half, so the Trojans will start out on offense against the Blue Devil defense. Back deep to receive will be for the Trojans, number 8, Chris Bean, as well as number 2, Lonnie Gladney. Let's see.
This is one of the changes, Doug, that, excuse me, it's one of the changes we can look for tonight. Mentioned to you before we went on the air, there was some so-called quote-unquote kicking tryouts Monday afternoon at about 2:15 before practice started. And I think primarily Coach Drury and his staff were really just trying to find somebody that can kick off a little deeper maybe, and also give an opportunity to get Charlie Edwards off the field and not have to have Charlie on the field so much. So this is going to be Rico Gillard is kicking off for the Blue Devils.
Goes short, caught up at about the 30-yard line by the Trojans. He brings it up to about the 35 and is tackled there by the Blue Devil defense. That was number 5 for the
Glaspie. Yeah, Mike Glaspie was that.
Glaspie on the carry.
Well, it's just once again, Doug. It's we're here at another division game against a rival from the years or through the years, and it's going to be important now for the Blue Devil defense to establish the momentum early.
Back in motion. Stevens gives to the first back through as they try the middle, and there's nothing there as the Blue Devil defense closes it down.
Well, Doug, you're just going to have to look. We're going to have to watch for that play because now the Trojans will run their option series off of that play. They're running what we call a double wing formation, and they've got the speedsters to do it. It's not a formation that you see real common in this day and age of the game, but I was talking to Coach Lindsay before the game at the pregame meal, and I said, Bruce, I hear Bruce runs the double wing. He says, yeah, why not? They've got the speed, so why not? So it's really designed to really try to get your speed involved into the offense.
Single back in the backfield. That's Glaspie. Bring one in motion. Loose football. Blue Devils recover. And there's your first error of the ball game, and the Trojans committed and the Blue Devils recover at the Trojan 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for the offense of the Blue Devils.
Doug, I know it sounds redundant, but we say it week in and week out, and if you go to all these other area schools and watch football games, especially division games, they're going to say the same thing. In big games, turnovers are a key. Eliminate the turnovers, and that's not what Bruce wanted to do, especially this deep in their own territory, and Water Valley gets the ball now with great field position.
And what Water Valley needs to do here is get something out of this turnover. They handed it off to Rico Gillard, who gets the starting position at the tailback I would imagine, if for no other reason than his ability to hold on to the football,
well, I'm sure
as well as his running yardage.
I'm sure that has a lot to do with it too. He's a little bit more of an aggressive style runner. He hits the hole square, going north-south. Pierre's more of a finesse runner, but now Pierre's in the ball game. He's starting at fullback, so you've really got two speedsters in the game at one time.
Brandon Hawkins split out wide to the left. Allen and Gillard in the backfield. 2nd and 7. They give it to Gillard. Gillard looking for running room over the left side, and he is stopped over there by number 66, Chris Crockett.
Well, that's a good job there by Bruce's defense. They strung that play down the line of scrimmage. Didn't let Rico get around the corner. Offensive line's got to do a little bit better job there. Got to get a little bit more of a push off the line of scrimmage. Most coaches say that if your offensive linemen are performing just fundamentally sound, that the initial push of the line of scrimmage should gain you at least 3 yards.
Solo Rocket out to the left. Rogers rolls to his right, looking downfield, has Tim Ham open at the 10. Pass complete, but there's a penalty marker on the play.
There's 2 of them, Doug. There's one at the line of scrimmage, there's one over here on the side.
Tim Ham was wide open over there, the tight end in the right flat.
That's going to be an ineligible receiver downfield. You had an offensive lineman downfield against the Blue Devils. That's a killer because you had the first down.
Illegal, ineligible receiver downfield is the penalty against the Blue Devils. That will back them up. Bring the ball back to about the 35-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and about 13. Charlie Edwards into the ball game along with Brandon Hawkins.
Now, depending on how much the Blue Devils get on this play, if they could, for example, maybe get the penalty yardage back or maybe get half of the yardage needed for the first down back, you might see them go for it on 4th down. So this is a crucial play. Even though if they don't get the first down, it depends on how much they get on this play is going to depend on whether or not they go for it on 4th down.
Rocket right. Rogers looking for Rocket. Rocket makes a tremendous catch along the sideline, and
they call it a touchdown.
Calling it a touchdown. He caught it right about the goal line. Super catch by Solo Rocket.
Well, you had the back judge. He signaled touchdown, okay, because all he saw was Solo Rocket cross the goal line. But now the key official in this situation is going to be the side judge on the other side. He had the view of the sideline, and also he signaled touchdown. So that tells me that Solomon never did go out of bounds.
Drake Dickey for the extra point attempt, and it is good. And the Blue Devils are up early, 7-0. Number 28, Rico Gillard, set to kick it off for the Blue Devils here. Just underway, 9 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. 7-zip in favor of the Blue Devils as Casey Rogers hooks up with Solo Rocket on a 35-yard touchdown pass. Gillard kicks it straight down the middle to about the 25, where it's picked up there by Glaspie. Glaspie was hammered at about the 38-yard line.
I believe that was number 11, Tim Ham, that delivered that blow.
You could see Glaspie moving up the field, and then all of a sudden his jersey came to an abrupt halt.
I'd been talking to Tim kind of during the course of the week and then over the past several weeks. He really enjoys that kickoff team. He likes the fact that he can just turn it loose and let it all hang out and get down there. And he says, but he says, I'm getting really frustrated because I hadn't been able to hit nobody. Hadn't been able to get rid of my blocker and hit somebody. Well, he just had his first opportunity right there.
Pitch it back there to number 6. That's Brand. Brand breaks it into the open on the far sideline, and Brand is all the way down to the Blue Devil 30-yard line. Excellent run there by the speedy Brand for the Trojans. 1st and 10 Trojans on the Devil 30-yard line.
Well, Doug, we saw this in the Lafayette game as far as Water Valley's defense concerned. They have got deep concerns on the corners. Lafayette scored a ton of yardage on the corners. Water Valley has not done a good job this year of defending the run on the corners. They pretty much stopped the in between the tackles running, But this is where they're vulnerable, is on the corners. And with Bruce's speed like they've got, this has got to be a serious concern for Coach Drury.
Straight up the middle they go this time. That's Glaspie on the carry down to about the 21-yard line before he's stopped by the Blue Devil defense. Just shy of first down yardage. Nice run there on first down. Matter of fact, I believe they're going to call official timeout for the measurement. As the Trojans come roaring back down the field after the Blue Devil touchdown.
There's
we got
a
flag on the ground over there somewhere. And we got to go see what that's about. I hope it's not what it seems to be because it's on our sideline. I am afraid that it is. They're pointing at our sideline. The referee's over there discussing it with Coach Drury now.
The thing that I'm curious to know, I don't know if it's unsportsmanlike conduct, but I also saw as the flag was being thrown, number 5, Russell Phillips, was leaving the field. So I've got concerns that maybe, I just wonder if Russell has he been ejected for some reason or another.
Well, they're still discussing it amongst themselves out there.
And I really don't understand what the discussion could be. If it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or a personal foul, it's 15 yards, automatic first down, and it shouldn't be that much to discuss.
Well, let's see. They're discussing it now with the Bruce captain. Now maybe they'll let us in on what the deal is. Okay. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Blue Devils. But they didn't, we wonder who it's on.
It could be on the bench or someone on the bench. Who knows? But nevertheless, if you're
that 15 yards hurt because that gets you first and goal down there now.
Well, if you're Water Valley and especially if you're Water Valley coaches, you're really frustrated now. You've just come off a Bruce turnover. You've scored a touchdown. You've got a lead, and then bam, they're right there knocking on the door. And they haven't ran 3 plays. They've run 1 play where you had breakdown of on your defense on the corner, led to a long run. And then you've had a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and here they are.
1st and 10 just outside the 10-yard line. They can get a first down without scoring. They hand it to Glaspie. Glaspie cuts it upfield looking for running room, and the Devil defense swarms on him at about the 6-yard line. 2nd down and about 5.
The Blue Devils are going to have to do a little bit better job of tackling. Once again, these running backs for Bruce are not people you can dive at their feet and try to trip them up. And we saw that a lot in the Lafayette game where they were diving at ankles trying to trip them up. The way you got to tackle these quick running backs for Bruce is you got to come up and you've got to hit them and lock them up. Because if you dive at their feet, by the time you get to their feet's not going to be there.
2nd and 7 now from about the 8-yard line, or 2nd and 6 from about the 7. Excuse me. Penalty marker on the play. That's probably going to be delay a game against the Trojans. Took a little too much time getting that one started. After the penalty is assessed, it brings up a 2nd down and 11 now for the Trojans from about the 11-yard line. Stevens takes the snap. He's got it himself. Fumble! Blue Devils recover. And another crucial turnover for the Bruce Trojans.
Well, that time, Doug, they were running the option play. They were putting the wing back in the wing back to this side. They were putting him in motion. They were going to fake that dive and run the option play on out to the corner. Now, sometimes with your quarterback, your coach, when he calls the offensive play call, he'll tell you, don't hand it off. Keep it. And so I really don't know if the quarterback is reading the option. For example, Casey Rogers for Water Valley, he reads. Whatever he does with the ball determines on what he reads. He's not told what to do. So you just have to wonder if this option play for Bruce is being called in the huddle. But nevertheless, the quarterback tried to pull it and he fumbled.
Give the ball straight up the middle there to number 28, Rico Gillard. And Gillard takes it up to about the 18-yard line. Gain of about 4 on the play. Call it 2nd down and 6 now for the Blue Devils.
I think I mentioned that on the field itself there's no standing water, but now don't get me wrong, the field is wet. I mean, the field is damp. And after about 3 or 4 offensive plays, that ball is going to be damp, and you just have to wonder maybe when that quarterback tried to pull it for Bruce and he was trying to fight off the tackle, it just slipped out of his hand.
Straight ahead to number 3, that's Casey Rogers on the option keeper. And Rogers takes it all the way up to about the 39, close to the 40-yard line, and a first down for the Blue Devils. Lane, one thing I was noticing on that fumble play a while ago, that when Stevens had the ball, he had the ball away from his body, and I think that's one of the things that contributed to the fumble.
Yeah, which leads me to believe that his intentions were to eventually pitch the ball, because if he was going to keep the ball, he would go ahead and tuck it away immediately.
1st and 10, Blue Devils now at their own 41. They give it to the first man through, and it is stuffed there at the line of scrimmage. That's
Pierre Allen.
Number 66, Crockett. First Crockett on the stop.
Well, they ran a little stunt there, and once again, the offensive lineman for the Blue Devils didn't pick up the stunt. I think we're going to have an official timeout here.
Official timeout on the field, and we'll be back with more right after this. 7-0 is your score in favor of the Water Valley Blue Devils as they have the ball 2nd and 11 on their own 40-yard line. Fumble on the play. Casey Rogers able to pick it up and gain about 2 positive yards out of what could have been a bad situation.
All right, Doug, let's make this point. Last week against Coldwater, Casey was a little banged up. So they only used him mainly on special teams and a little bit on defense. Casey did not play any quarterback at all last week in the game. So you just wonder if his, just might be just a little off here in the early going because, of course, he worked there all week in center, but it's still nothing like playing in a game.
Rogers pitches it back to Rico Gillard on the option. He's going to be close, Lane. They tackle him at about the 49-yard line, and that's going to be real close.
I think he may
have it.
I don't know.
It's close.
It's first down.
Evidently, it's first down. They're moving the chains. 1st and 10, Blue Devils at the 49-yard line of the Trojans. Nice run there by Rico Gillard.
Now, see, right there is a perfect example of how the Water Valley quarterback, Casey Rogers, is reading the option. He read the dive play, wasn't there, pulled it, comes down line of scrimmage. He was taken, so he pitched it, and so he's reading the option. I just wonder if the Bruce quarterback is reading his options. It's hard to tell.
Rogers, oh my goodness, he gets hammered, and they're going to call. His arm was in motion, so that was an incomplete pass as he got. And from the backside.
And the pressure came from the side you don't like, Doug. It came from the backside. He can't see that pressure. I really couldn't tell who kind of failed him on that play, but you're supposed to have backside protection. Somebody didn't pick up the number 9 there for Bruce.
Second and 10. Rogers keeps it on the option. Still on his feet, twisting, turning, works his way down to the 40-yard line, close to first down yardage.
Well, to the credit of Bruce's defense, Doug, that play was about as well defended as you can defend it. It should have been stopped for about a 4 or 5 yard gain, and that'd been about it. But Casey Rogers made those extra 3 or 4 more yards just from his athletic ability.
Third down and about 2 now for the Blue Devils. Straight ahead. They gave it to, I believe that was Allen, number 3, Pierre Allen. Straight up through the middle. Tackle there by number 20 for the Trojans.
That's another first down, though, Doug. This is pretty good. Pretty good little drive here now. The Blue Devils have put together, coming up on 4 minutes now to go in the first quarter. So they've definitely had the advantage, at least, of time of possession here in the first quarter. One of the ways to keep those speedy those offensive backs for Bruce off the field is, have your offense on the field quite a bit. Got a flag down here, I believe, Doug.
Officials come in, see what the conference is going to be about here. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils from their Trojan 35. Illegal procedure against the Blue Devils. Backs them up 5 yards to the 40 and makes it 1st and 15.
Those just killer penalties, Doug. You've got a great drive going. You've put together some first downs. You got good field position, and then we're into what the 4th, 5th game of the season now.
5th game.
Yeah, and those mistakes shouldn't be happening. Those are just lack of focus and lack of paying attention, and you shouldn't be making those penalties at this point in the season.
Straight ahead comes Rico Gillard, still on his feet, keeping those legs driving. He takes it all the way down to about the 31-yard line.
Probably got the penalty yardage back plus about another 6, so that's a good play.
Crockett and Glaspie on the stop. 2nd down now and about 6 yards to go.
And if I'm water about it here, Doug, I don't abandon the pass now. I don't abandon the pass here. I just keep mixing in a pass every once in a while to keep those defensive backs honest.
Straight ahead to Rico Gillard. Gillard dives down inside the 30 to about the 28, make it the 27-yard line, where it's going to bring up 3rd down and short, 3rd and about 3 yards to go. Two minutes and 28 seconds left to go in the first quarter of play. 7-zip your score in favor of the Blue Devils, as they were able to take advantage of a Trojan miscue early in the first quarter and score on a 35-yard touchdown pass from Casey Rogers to Solo Rocket. Once again, the Blue Devils on this drive taking advantage of a Trojan miscue. Rogers pitches it back to Gillard, and he is stopped in the backfield, back up at about the 30. Loss on the play, and that's going to bring up 4th down from the 40-yard or 30-yard line, rather. It's going to bring up a 4th down and about 6.
And I tell you, Solomon Rocket there, I believe whoever number 4 is for the Blue Devils, he is frustrated to the bone because that's his man that made that play in the backfield. He just flat missed his block, and that allowed penetration on that pitch play. And like you said, Doug, it was maybe even a loss on the play here.
And now here, where in seasons past we might have been within field goal range. No such luck this year. You got to go for it on 4th and 6. Rogers rolling, looking, has his receiver, Rocket, open down at about the 22.
That should be a first down,
That should
Doug.
be enough for the first down yardage. Ball, the yard marker is on about the 25-yard line. They're spotting the ball at about the 23, so that should be enough for a first down.
Once again, it's a good thing that they had a little play action on that play, and Casey was able to roll right. But he was getting some extreme pressure from that backside again from number 9 of the Bruce Trojan, and I'm hoping that the coaches have noticed that, because that's going to be something that's going to have to be addressed.
Jamison Evans putting some pressure on Rogers. Casey hands it off to Rico Gillard. Gillard still on his feet, diving forward for more yardage down inside the 22, almost the 15.
And we got a Trojan down on the field.
Got an injured Trojan on the field, and we'll take a break and be right back after this. Isaiah Thomas, number 34, the injured player for the Trojans. He's able to make his way off the field under his own power.
Looks to be his arm or shoulder, Doug. Looks to be that right arm or shoulder. He's kind of holding it in close to his body there. Maybe it could even be his hand. But he's favoring that right shoulder, right arm.
Trainer Scott Heath for the Trojans coming off the field with him. 2nd down and about a long 2 now for the Blue Devils from about the 15. Casey Rogers on the quarterback keeper straight ahead, down inside the 10-yard line to about the 6, where it'll be first down and goal for the Blue Devils.
.30 seconds to go now in the first quarter. So for the most part, the Blue Devils' time of possession is going to be, they're going to have the advantage here. They pretty much had the football the whole first quarter.
They give it to Gillard. Gillard's still on his feet, and he breaks the plane for a Blue Devil touchdown. Rico Gillard. Drake Dickey. Right family, wrong brother.
Tell you, boy, Coach Grubbs for the Bruce Trojans is intense right now. And that's one thing that the people of Bruce are going to have to get used to. He is an intense person.
Kick is up, and the kick is good, but there's a penalty marker down as the Trojans were offside. If that's the case, you probably just decline this penalty. That is the call against. Well, you can't.
I don't think you can, Doug. I always thought a false start was a dead ball foul, but now he's talking to Drake, not whether he wants it or not. If he made the kick, you absolutely decline the penalty, take the point, and let's move on.
Well, I think that's what he made the kick. I think now that they take the half the. Okay. No.
Oh, he didn't.
Well, what are they doing? I thought he said they declined the penalty. That was how I understood the referee's motion.
Well, evidently they decided to go for 2.
Okay. Timeout, Blue Devils. We had an extra point attempt, which looked to me to be good. But you had a offside penalty against the Trojans.
But now, Coach Drury is saying, okay, if you're going to give me the option of taking the penalty, was my kick good or not? Because I may want to take the kick, okay? But, and here's the thing, I don't think there were any referees that saw the result of the kick because the whistle blew the play dead before it got started.
High snap, and Casey is smothered as he has nowhere to go, and the extra, and that winds up costing us a point. And your score is now 13-0 in favor of the Blue Devils. Rico Gillard set to kick it off here for the Blue Devils now as they lead this contest 13-0 with just seconds left to go here in the first quarter of play. We may wind up with this being the last play of the quarter, depending on if you got much of a run back or not. Low kick goes right to Glaspie, number 5. Glaspie on his feet, and he is tackled. And you're going to have about 5.9 seconds left.
Doug, I don't know if Bobby can get a shot of this to our left. They've got the pads off of Isaiah Thomas, the 9th grader for the Bruce Trojans. And trainer Scott Heath looks to be working on that right shoulder up around the collarbone area. And that seems to be the concern there.
First and 10 for the Trojans.
Excuse me, Doug. I tell you, if he can't come back in, that's a crucial loss to their defense.
First and 10, Trojans from their own 33. Stevens gives to and he is tackled up at about the 37-yard line, and that's the end of the quarter. And we'll take time out here and be right back with the second quarter of play right after this. Beginning of the second quarter of action here now, 13-0 is your score in favor of the Water Valley Blue Devils, as the Blue Devils have been able to take advantage of 2 Trojan fumbles and get points out of both of them, and they lead this contest 13-0. Trojan ball now, second down and about 5 from their own 34-yard line. Stevens rolls under pressure, and he was throwing in the direction of number 8 there, but He just didn't quite get it there.
Chris Bean, number 8. You're right, Doug. That's borderline. He got it in the vicinity, but he was under some great pressure there by number 9 there for the Blue Devils. And I tell you, one thing that has to be of some concern defensively if you're Water Valley is the sweeps or the run plays on the corners. Somehow or another, our pursuit or our defensive players are getting inside, and they're not containing that sweep, and that can spell danger if you're not careful.
3rd and 5. Ball goes to Brand. Brand breaking some tackles. Finally tackled by Reggie Morgan, and there's a flag on the play.
That may be a face mask. Perfect example of that right there, Doug. Had no pursuit from the inside whatsoever.
See exactly what the penalty is going to be here. Personal foul, face mask against the Blue Devils.
Personal foul, face mask.
Okay, must have been in retaliation because I saw the Bruce defender's hand up in our guy's face mask first.
When he got the stiff arm, when the Water Valley defender may have gotten the stiff arm, it kind of had him reaching a little bit. He could have got the face mask, Doug. I really don't know. It was called by that back judge, so evidently he saw a face mask that we didn't.
15-yard variety on this one. This takes the ball now down to about the 11-yard line of the Blue Devils, and once again the Trojans are in business deep in Blue Devil territory. They were here before in the first quarter and fumbled. They handed it off to Glaspie, and Glaspie is stopped.
Once again, Doug, that play was designed to go on the outside, but Water Valley defended that a lot better. They had a defensive player there to turn the play back inside, turn it back into the pursuit, and it was defended a lot better, and it looks like Bruce is going to call a timeout here.
Second down and 10. Pass out to the flat. The number 24 trying to turn the corner, and Albert Horton is there on top of it to cut him down as he gains maybe a yard on that play. That was Sean Mims on the carry.
Well, the receiver for Bruce, it was designed to be kind of a quick screen pass, so to speak, and as far as to the right side goes, pretty much nowhere to run, so he just reversed his field, and he ran a long way just to gain about a yard.
Third down now, third down and about 8. Stevens hands it off to Mims once again, and he is tackled down at about the 8-yard line. Little or no gain on the play again as they're making running a long way sideways to gain not a whole lot of yardage north and south.
Now, Doug, one thing, if I'm a Water Valley coach, as far as my defense goes, one thing that I've got to be concerned with is that those sweeps, and we're pursuing, or Water Valley Blue Devil defense is pursuing so hard to cut off that sweep. Watch for a reverse coming back the other way, because all the pursuit is over to the right side trying to defend the sweep. And there's a lot of running room back over here to the backside, so you might want to keep an eye out for a reverse.
4th and 7, Stevens with the quick pass, complete there to number 6, Fred Brand, and a Trojan touchdown. As the quick hitter to Brand gets the Trojans on the board. On now for the extra point attempt. Justice will attempt the extra point out of the hold of number 12. And the kick is up and the kick is good. That makes the score of the Water Valley Blue Devils 13, the Trojans 7. 13-7 is your score as the Trojans get on the board via the Sinatra Stevens to Brand, touchdown.
And it's got this Bruce crowd back in the game now, Doug. Water Valley pretty much had control of the first quarter, and now Bruce kind of steps out here in the second quarter and tries to get that momentum back.
Defer Justice to kick off for the Trojans. Back deep, Charlie Edwards and Casey Rogers. Justice straight ahead, kicks it down to Casey Rogers at about the 20. Casey looking for running room behind his blockers, brings it up to about the 37-yard line. Well, the Blue Devils will take over 1st and 10.
And that's going to be important now for Water Valley's offense to kind of get control of that line of scrimmage again, put together a drive here, and just try to take some of the momentum back away from this Bruce Trojan. They've gotten their crowd back in it. Their fans are back in it now. And 9:26 to go here in the half, and we've got us a ball game here.
13-7 your score in favor of the Blue Devils. Solo Rocket comes out wide to the right. Two backs in the backfield, Allen and Gillard. Option keeper, Rogers wiggles his way through the middle, still on his feet, and carries for a first down up over the 45-yard line to about the 47, closer to the 48. First down, Blue Devils.
Well, once again, it's just the Water Valley's basic option play there, and Casey kept the ball, was able to make a couple of moves and pick up some good yardage.
Very nimble on his feet.
At some point in time, though, I look for and I may be wrong, but you may see somebody on that Bruce defense be just solely responsible for Casey. In other words, he'll follow Casey wherever he goes. A spy, so to speak, is sometimes it's referred to.
There was a penalty tacked on to the end of that play against the Trojans, I'm guessing. Pitch back to Gillard, and Gillard is brought down before he reaches just past midfield, down at about the 46-yard line. Gains maybe a couple of yards on the play. Not even a yard, really. Looks like it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
That's a good job there by Bruce's defense. They covered all the weapons there, so to speak, on that option play. They had the dive backs, they had the dive back stuff. They had Casey taken care of, and then they had good coverage on the pitch.
Solo Rocket in the game, out wide to the right on the short side of the field here. Double tight end set, Hill and Ham, your tight ends. Rogers hands it off to Gillard. Gillard over the left side, looking for running room, still on his feet. Gets it down inside the 45. Gains maybe 3 yards. No, not even 3, really. I guess they're calling it about 2. 3rd and 8. Third and 8 for the Blue Devils from the 45-yard line of the Trojans. Brandon Hawkins in the game now. Rogers on the delay. Still on his feet inside the 40 down to about the 37-yard line. And
I think
going to be close.
He had to get just inside the 35. I think he's still going to be a couple of yards short. Best that I can tell, that's where the yard marker is.
They're marking the ball at about the 30, 39, 38 and a half. It's going to bring up a 4th down and about 2.
It's going to be a long 2 at that. Look, you might look for Water Valley here to try to draw Bruce off sides.
Rocket to the right to the short side. Still in the double tight end set. Allen and Gillard in the backfield. No, Rogers takes it himself, and oh goodness, excellent play there by Justice and Glasby
on the spot,
as they were able to get some penetration and cut his legs down. But
I don't believe he got it, Doug.
Well, they're marking the ball. It's going to be very, very close. I don't think he got it.
They may bring in for a measurement here.
They're going to bring the chains in, but I'm thinking you're going to be short. It's difficult to tell with the chains that far across the field and this rise in the middle of the field how it's going to be. It's going to be well short. Yeah. You're about a yard shy there. Ball goes over on downs to the Bruce Trojans. 1st and 10 coming back the other way. They have the ball at their own 37-yard line as the Bruce defense holds.
It's time, it's time now for Water Valley's defense. They need to make a stand. Bruce has definitely got the momentum there, and that 4th down stop just really gives them the momentum at this point in time. 7 minutes to go here in the first half. You still got plenty of time if you're Bruce to get another score on the board.
1st and 10 now for the Trojans. Split receivers left and right. 2 wing backs. Stevens pitches back to Mims. Mims looking for running room, and he is corralled back there for a big loss by Jeremy Rocket, number 22 for the Blue Devils.
They defended the sweep real well at that time, Doug. They cut off the pursuit, so to speak, able to force the running back to even have to go a little bit deeper in the backfield. Keep in mind now, I still keep in the back of my mind that they may try a reverse at some point in time because the pursuit of the Blue Devil defense is so fierce toward that sweep.
2nd down now and 16 as there was a big 6-yard loss on the play. Mims in motion once again, but can't see really who had the ball. I'm thinking Stevens still had the ball, but he got stuffed in the backfield, either Stevens or Glaspie, and they got popped for maybe about another yard loss. Going to bring up about 3rd down and 7. 3rd down and about 16. Still remains about the same.
Now here's where you got to start looking for the reverse or some kind of a screen, maybe some kind of a draw here in this particular situation.
3rd and long here for the Trojans. 3 receivers to the left. Stevens back to pass. Heaves one up downfield, has a receiver open, and he gets it as he drops it in between 2 defenders there, between Charlie Edwards and Casey Rogers. That ball was caught there by to number 19, James Wright, all the way down to the Blue Devil 28-yard line.
That's going to be a 1st down. Doug, Charlie Edwards, number 10 for the Blue Devils, made a crucial mistake. He stopped running. He pulled up to thinking he could get the interception, but the ball was actually thrown deeper than he thought.
1st and 10 Trojans. Sinatra Stevens with the ball on the option, and Brandon Hawkins along with Albert Horton step up to stop him at about the 25. Gain of about 2, maybe 3 on the play. 2nd down now and about 7 for the Trojans. 4:53 and counting left in the first half. 13-7 in favor of the Blue Devils, but the Trojans with the ball and driving. Mims in motion.
Bruce was in motion there. I think they started too quick, Doug. That's going to be a false start on Bruce there, or illegal motion.
Penalty on the play. Illegal procedure against the Trojans. Back them up about 5, make it 2nd down now and about 12. Make it more like 2nd and 13 from the 30. Mims in motion. Stevens with the carry, and he defensive penetration and the fumble on the play, and they're signaling that the Blue Devils have recovered. Didn't see Lee Mix came up off the bottom of the pile, number 30, with that ball.
Well, let me tell you what happened, Doug. That was going to be the option to the right. But the fullback for Bruce, and I think it was number 6, I couldn't really tell, but the fullback, when he started to go, he slipped. He fell down. And so that was a busted play from the get-go. We have official timeout right here.
Official timeout on the field, and we'll take a break and be right back after this. .410 left in the first half of play. 13-7 is your score in favor of the Blue Devils. Blue Devils get the ball back here as the Trojans were driving, and they fumble. And the Blue Devils have it back now, 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. Rogers back to pass, looking for Rocket down the sideline. Oh my goodness, that one was going to be intercepted there. Number 9 had his hand, Jamison Evans had that one, but I think Rocket managed to get his hands in there and tip it just enough to where Evans was able to unable to hold on and get the interception.
Well, that's great coverage there by Brewster's defense. Of course, we were in Water Valley was in 2 tight ends, so you really only had one receiver out in the pattern. So it kind of forces them into a double coverage situation. So they basically had Solomon covered in double coverage.
2nd down now and 10 from the 33. Give the ball to Rico Gillard. Gillard brings it up over the 35 to about the 37. Gain of about 4 on the play. Call it 3rd and 6. Injured Water Valley player on the play as they're helping number 50 Travis White off the field. Steve Thompson out there, the trainer with him.
Looks to be an ankle, though. Looks like he may have twisted that right ankle.
Travis heading off the field. Coach Mix coming out to check on him. Third down now, 3rd down and about 6.
Big conversion play here, Doug. 3rd and long now for the Blue Devils. They really need to convert right here.
Mix into fullback slot. Rocket in motion to the left. Rogers back to pass, under pressure, has to step up. And he's going to be dropped at about the 40, and that's going to be about 3 yards shy of the 1st down.
Well, Casey never really had a chance to really set up, set his feet and throw. Forced him into a running situation now, and looks like the Blue Devils have to punt it away.
3:21 and counting. This will be the first punt of the ball game, if indeed it is a punt. Charlie Edwards is in the contest. And he will drop back to about his own 27-yard line.
Edwards back in punt formation.
Low snap. Charlie able to get it off. Nice driving punt. Goes all the way back to about the 23. He cuts it up the sideline. He's got a seam. 2 men to beat. Penalty marker on the play as they come in from all over the place. And he's knocked out of bounds down here at about the 17-yard line. Well, what is the call? There's flags all over the field. They came from everywhere. It was a sea of yellow. It's going to, part of that's going to come back. Let's see what the call actually was.
The referee, evidently there was a Bruce Trojan fan that was standing here on the track and gave the referee some lip, and I believe they've had to run him off. I believe that's what the referee is discussing with Coach Grubbs.
And And that's going to bring the ball all the way back to about the 45-yard line. Well, make it about the 46. After the that negates a nice run back. Stevens under pressure, gets the pass out to Mims, and that's somebody.
It's an incomplete pass. It was close, but I believe the ball went forward. That's all that counts. Is if the ball goes forward, then it's an incomplete pass. So I don't think it was a lateral. I think if he'd have caught the ball, even if the pass had been completed, it'd been for a minimal gain because it looks like Water Valley had that covered pretty good.
Second down now. Second down and 10 from the 46. .240 to go in the first half. Mims in motion. Oh, that was
a reverse.
Reverse coming there. And Brandon Hawkins may have saved a touchdown right there with that tackle at about the 35-yard line.
No doubt, though. We knew it was coming. That was the reverse that was coming. They were setting that play up, and it worked out good. That's going to be a first down. The clock stops now to move the change with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. Bruce has plenty of time here to get a score on the board. No need to really get in a big hurry. You got plenty of time.
Jamison Evans on that reverse. First and 10 now, Trojans from their Blue Devil 32-yard line. Mims in motion. Stevens. Pass complete to Evans. Tackled very quickly there by Brandon Hawkins at about the 25.
I tell you, number 9, Evans is a good-looking receiver. He's the prototype receiver, if you want to call it. He's got some height. He's tall, good speed, strong.
Second and about 4 now for the Trojans from the 25. Stevens on the option keeper forward down to about the 23-yard line. That's going to be close to first down yardage. I believe he's going to be a little short. They're going to bring in the change to measure. But I believe this once again with the measurement, it's going to be a little short. 1:19 to go in the first half.
About a yard.
Just about a yard short. Bring up third and short from the 23-yard line. Trojans come up on the ball now here on this third and short play. Third and about a yard. Deferred Justice in the game. They gave it to Justice, and he is stuffed.
I don't believe he got it, Doug. I think he's going to be short again.
He was stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Defensive penetration there by Josh Sims and the defensive front, and I don't think he got it.
And Bruce now calls a timeout as we just go under a minute here to go in the first half. We're going to bring up a fourth and about 2.
13-7 is your score in favor of the Blue Devils. The Trojans with the ball facing a fourth down at about a yard and a half. Ball resting on about the 24-yard line as they were stuffed on a third and short.
4th and 1.
Once again, Justice in at the fullback position. It was he that was stuffed the last time. Mims once again, and no way Jose Stevens kept the ball, and the Blue Devil defense just stopped up the middle completely.
Yeah, that's a good stand there by Water Valley's defense because Bruce definitely had the momentum. They had the field position, especially, of course, they called a little bit of a break, Water Valley did, with the holding call on the punt return. But then Bruce came back with the big play on the reverse, picked up a 3rd and long conversion there. So that's a good job there by Water Valley's defense to stiffen now with 53 seconds now to go in the first half. And you tend to think now with the ball, you have the ball this deep in your own territory, you might try to play it a little bit safe here, although I see that Charlie Edwards now is in at tight end, and now Bruce has called a timeout. This should be their last timeout.
13-7 Blue Devils. Water Valley with the football, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Be interesting to see what Coach Drury decides to do here with this final less than a minute. Charlie Edwards in the ball game at one of your tight end slots. Tim Ham at the other tight end. Pierre Allen and Rico Gillard at your running backs. Rogers just going to look to run it, breaking into the open there, and he gets up over the 35 to about the 36, which is going to be enough for a first down.
Well, Doug, what they may be trying to do, what Water Valley may be trying to do is at least maybe try to get the ball to midfield and then maybe take a couple of shots deep.
Entirely possible as they hold the clock now until they get the thing set now. There goes the official, winds the clock up. Blue Devils come up to the line. Rocket to the right. Rogers under pressure, looking for running room, takes it to the outside. Casey tries to get all he can get, but I don't think he was able to get out of bounds.
He did not get out of bounds, but he did get the first down, so now the clock stops with 25.7 to go.
Ball goes up to about the 45-yard line.
And Water Valley burns a timeout here.
Timeout, Blue Devils. And we'll hang with you here.
Yeah, Doug, I really believe that this is what Water Valley's trying to do. They're trying to at least get the ball up into a into a good field position to where they can make a couple of throws deep, maybe get a break or two and get Solomon or somebody behind the defense and try to score a big play right here before half. The reason I don't think you saw that on the start of the drive is simply because of the position that you had the ball, which was deep in your own territory, and you didn't want to risk an interception. But now they've got the ball out here at about the 45-yard line, not quite to midfield, so I think you might maybe try to see a couple of shots here to go deep.
See what Coach Drury comes up with as we come out and get ready to come out of this timeout here. We've got 25.7 seconds left to go. And the
I tell you, just here in the first half, I see a couple of Bruce players here on the sidelines that are actually look to be a little beat up. Isaiah Thomas, he has the shoulder pads off. They've had ice on him for most of the second quarter. And also see another young man for Bruce. Glaspie looks to be a little banged up also.
Rogers looking to get some running room, cuts it up to the outside, flag thrown. Casey's tackled down at about the 43-yard line of the Trojans, but there's a penalty marker on the play. Holding against the Blue Devils. Is that 17.4 seconds left. And that one hurts because it goes from the spot of the foul. And that one backs the Devils all the way up to their own 40.
And Water Valley calls another timeout.
Blue Devils call another timeout to talk the situation over. 17.4 seconds left to go. Blue Devils with the ball. I believe it's 1st and 10 from their own 40.
So it's going to be 1st and 15, Doug, because of the penalty.
1st and 15. Let's see. Solo Rocket in the game. Single receiver. He gives it to the first man through, and that's Pierre Allen. And Pierre Allen has some speed And he gets down to about 30. There's a penalty marker.
That should be a face mask, I think.
See who they're going to call it on. 8 seconds left to go here. And that came in there at the very end of the play. We'll have to see exactly what it was. It is a face mask, and it is against the Bruce Trojans. And boy, that's a tough penalty. Now the question is it just the 5-yarder, or is it the personal foul? Evidently, it's just the 5-yarder. Takes it down to about the about the 25.
Well, you got one play left, Doug, and you're definitely within striking distance now of the end zone. So now you just want to drop back here and throw one to the end zone here.
Single receiver in Solo Rocket as they now try to get the yard markers down. They wind the clock. Rogers spikes it.
Not a bad call. Now you get to get back in the huddle and
set your play up.
And then if you're Bruce defensively, you got to figure that Water Valley is going to try to take a shot at the end zone. Now the key here, Doug, is going to be to give Casey enough time. You know, the past couple of times he's tried to throw, he's been under some pretty good pressure. So he's got to have some time to get this throw off.
Possibly look for him to roll out. Probably, I would say, roll him to his left. Rocket in the game to the right. Under pressure. Steps up. And that's the end of it as they tackle him at midfield. Excellent defense there by the Trojans at the end of the half. Your score at the end of the first half, 13-7 in favor of the Water Valley Blue Devils. The Blue Devils will receive the ball as they won the toss and deferred to the second half. So the Devils will come out on offense, leading in this contest 13-7, as they were able to take advantage of a couple of Trojan miscues and score on them. A 35-yard pass play from Rogers to Rocket, and a short run by Rico Gillard accounted for the Blue Devil scoring. And a pass from Sinatra Stevens to number 6, Fred Brand, was the Trojan scoring the deferred justice PAT, making it 13-7.
Well, Doug, I think, like I said before the Bruce Band performed, I think it's going to be real important now for Water Valley to come out here and try to establish themselves, especially after Bruce had made such a strong push in the second quarter.
Rogers gets the ball and brings it back up over the 30-yard line to about the 33. Well, the Blue Devils will take over 1st and 10.
As you mentioned, Doug, Water Valley has scored off of, I don't necessarily say off of the turnovers, but they were able to recover a couple of fumbles there that Bruce committed and was able to turn them into points. So that's a real plus. But at the same time, you need your offense now to come out here and try to establish themselves and put a drive together.
Rocket out wide right. Allen and Gillard in the backfield. Rogers on the option keeper. Looking for running room, takes it up over the 35-yard line to about the 36.
I look for Bruce's defense now, especially coming out here in the second half. Look for him to make some kind of an adjustment, Doug, to keep Casey Rogers contained, so to speak. Don't let Casey get out in the open field and run rampant like he did on that last drive right before half.
2nd down and 7 now from the 35-yard line. Rogers on the option, pitches to Rico Gillard, and he is tackled out there on the corner by Jamison Evans.
Good defense there on the option by Bruce. They forced Casey to pitch it, which is what you want to do because Casey's got such great running ability. You want to force him to pitch, and then hopefully that your defensive backs will come up and support that pitch, and that's exactly what happened.
3rd down now, 3rd down and 5 for the Blue Devils from about the 38-yard line. Just underway here in the second half of action, 13-7 your score in favor of the Blue Devils. Rogers gives it to the first man through, and that's Pierre Allen. Pierre takes it up to about the 45-yard line, which is enough for a Blue Devil first down.
Tell you, Water Valley may have got away with one there. Looks like number 10, Charlie Edwards, wasn't quite set long enough before the snap, but evidently the referees thought so. Good conversion there for Water Valley's offense. You didn't want to come out here and go 3 and out here to start the second half.
1st and 10 for the Blue Devils now from their own 45-yard line. Brandon Hawkins out wide right. Allen and Gillard in the backfield. He gives it to Allen. Allen is stuffed in the backfield for no gain. Defer justice on the tackle, along with Thornton.
Doug, we need to mention too now, number 34 for Bruce, Isaiah Thomas. He is back in the ball game at middle linebacker for Bruce, and I think that's very, very important. He's kind of the heart and soul of that defense, and to have him on the field is very important. Got a stoppage of play here for an equipment timeout here. Looks like he's about ready to go.
Second down now and about 11 after the loss on the play. Handed off to Rico Gillard. Rico Gillard up the middle, and they saved a touchdown there. At number 2 on that tackle for the Trojans, Lonnie Gladney, because Gillard was about to pop free of the crowd, and he would have been gone.
Well, I was kind of watching number 34 for Bruce, Isaiah Thomas, the middle linebacker. I was kind of watching him on that play. He's really favoring that right shoulder. That's the injury, because they were icing that right before half. It's right at the right shoulder, so I believe he's probably got a pretty deep shoulder bruise.
3rd and short. Rogers option pitch to Gillard, and Gillard takes it to about the 45-yard line of the Trojans. That's going to be close to first down yardage.
Still going to be short, Doug. 4th and very short.
They mark it back at about the 46-yard line, actually. 4th down and 1 for the Blue Devils.
I believe, Doug, he's got to get just inside. If I'm not mistaken, he either got to get right at the 45 or just inside it.
And Rogers goes straight ahead with it, depending on where they mark the ball. He's marking it across the 35, or the 45 rather, but let's see. Well, no, now he spots it back. When he went in initially, now he was marking, on the other side of the 35, and then they pull the ball back.
Coach Drury is irate over there on the sideline too, Doug. To be honest with you, at that spot, just from our angle, I believe he's short, unless the tip of that ball might be just over the 45-yard line.
It's very close. And it's just short. And Lane, I'm going to tell you, that spot of that ball cost us that one. I'm gonna be honest with you, I think.
Coach Drury still thinks that they got the first down. He's pretty irate.
From the initial spot when the linesman came in with the spot, it was over. He had it marked over the 35, and then he moved the ball back. So, first down, the Trojan defense does a good job, and the offense comes on the field 1st and 10 going the other way.
Hey, Coach Drury needs to be real careful now. He's getting a little bit too far out on the field now. The worst thing that Water Valley needs, or the last thing they need, is an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the sideline.
Straight ahead, Stevens on the keeper. And he was literally crawling across the ground there. Gets it up to about midfield. Gain of about 3 on the play. Not quite to midfield, to about the 49. Call it 2nd and a long 7.
Tell you, right now the pressure's on Water Valley's defense right at the moment, because that's a big momentum swinger. And Water Valley came out in the first half, picked up a couple of first downs, and then Bruce all of a sudden gets a 4th down stand. So the momentum has shifted.
Pitch it back to Mims. Mims trying the right side, and he is stopped.
There's going to be a flag on the play too, Doug. I believe that's going to be holding on number 6.
Holding is the call against the Trojans. So there was a loss on the play.
Now that holding, Doug, was behind the line of scrimmage. So I'm not exactly sure if that holding penalty will be assessed from the spot of the foul. It could be from the original spot.
They're discussing the situation with Casey.
So yeah, the penalty going to be marked off from the spot of the foul, which is huge, Doug, because the penalty took place behind the line of scrimmage.
Ball goes all the way back to about the 33-yard line of the Trojans. Make it to 34, where it'll be 2nd down and 20-something. It's in Mims. Oh, that's a flag.
Yep, that's another penalty.
Trojans in motion on the far side, and one of the backs jumped.
And that doesn't do nothing but frustrate your coaching staff, because your defense has come out. They've made the 4th down stand. They've got you've got the football in great field position, and now all of a sudden you're backing up.
You've got yourself locked in reverse. Back another 5 yards, all the way back to about the 30, which is about where they mark it. Now, just inside the 30, actually.
One thing you need to look for too now, Doug, is the reverses and the screens, the misdirection plays, things along those lines.
Under pressure, gets the pass off to Brand. Jeremy Rocket was right in Stevens' face. Takes it out to about the 36-yard line.
Pretty good coverage there by the and we got another flag.
Penalty marker, and it's against the Trojans. Boy,
illegal man downfield, and if I'm Coach Drury, I'll take this penalty too. Keep on backing him up. Who knows? You might get a turnover here and take advantage of these mistakes.
They're discussing it with the defensive captain, Casey Rogers, out there.
I believe what Water Valley's going to do here, they're going to decline the penalty and It's an interesting situation, because if you decline the penalty, you bring up 3rd down and extremely long. But if you take the penalty, it's going to be 2nd down and even more yardage. And looks like Water Valley's going to take the penalty here.
2nd down and another 5 tacked onto that. Ball all the way back to the 25-yard line. 1st down yardage is at the 45. So
It's a good.
It's 2nd and 30. Mims in motion. They give it first man through, and boy, Jeremy Rocket is just on Steven right off the bat, the quarterback. That's going to bring up a 3rd down now at about 30.
Well, you remember in the first half, Bruce had a 3rd and about 16, and they was able to convert it on a long pass. So that's one thing you've got to prevent here. You want to look for any kind of reverse, like we said before, any misdirection, or maybe some sort of screen play here.
Quarterback Sinatra Stevens walking with just a hint of a limp. .6:25 to go in the 3rd period. 13-7 your score in favor of the Blue Devils. Trojans with the ball in their own end, down on about their 26-yard line. 3rd and 30. Penalty marker.
Delay of game.
And there, boy, I tell you, this is.
So if you're one thing here now, if you're Water Valley on defense, you don't want to get real lax here and think that they'll never pick up this kind of yardage. Because I mean you want to try to get a short stop here, because it creates them to have to punt it deep in their own territory. So you still got the field position that you're trying to battle for here.
Trojans go for a quick snap under pressure. Oh my goodness, Jeremy Rocket and the Devil defense swarm all over him back at about the 12-yard line for an even bigger loss.
This could be a big swing here, Doug. Water Valley should come out of this thing with pretty good field position. They got the
official timeout on the field. We'll take a break and be right back. .5:55 left to go to 3rd period. 13-7 your score in favor of the Water Valley Blue Devils. The Bruce Trojans have it on their own 12-yard line. 4th down and about 40-something. as the Trojans have just locked themselves in reverse here.
Doug, the punter is going to receive the ball right on his goal line.
Oh my goodness, and a high snap. He's able to get it off, but it's a low driving kick that's good. That Casey Rogers wisely lets roll into Devil territory at about the 47-yard line. He had thoughts of picking it up and trying to run with it, but he had a Bruce Trojan defender right in his face.
He had 4 or 5 of them, Doug. They really didn't have a good return set up. Any kind of a bobble would have given the ball back to Bruce. I think that was an excellent decision. Even now he fielded the punch. You've got the ball real close to midfield, just on your side of midfield. So great field position here for Water Valley now to start their second drive of the or second possession of the second half.
1st and 10, Blue Devils from their own 47-yard line. Brandon Hawkins at the wide receiver slot. They give it to Rico Gillard. Rico Gillard off the left side, and Gillard plunges ahead for nice yardage on first down as he takes it into Trojan territory down to around the 46-yard line. Second and 5.
Excuse me, Doug. Now, ideally, we're ticking down now to about 5:17, 5:16 now to go into the third quarter. The ideal situation is if you're Water Valley, you'd love to just keep this ball for the rest of the quarter and maybe even on into the fourth quarter. Make this drive long, sustaining drive, and then hopefully there at the beginning of the fourth quarter you can punch it in.
Rogers hands it off to Gillard. Gillard off the right side. Gillard driving with those legs down inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line.
Evidently, the Blue Devils talked at halftime, and they've discovered, something there on the defensive front of Bruce that's allowing them to have this kind of success running the football.
Rico Gillard having another excellent night. Rico ran for like over at least 118 yards and 4 touchdowns last week against Coldwater. 1st and 10 Blue Devils now. Rogers. Gillard once again, and he's stacked up after gaining maybe a couple. As the Trojan defense with Brand, Isaiah Thomas, DeFura Justice, and Chris Crockett clog up the middle there.
Well, I think the initial player you have to give credit to there to begin with is big number 66. I believe that's Crockett for Bruce. He was able to kind of just create a lot of congestion in that hole, pretty much able to stuff the blocker for Water Valley and just stuff up that hole, and then his pursuit got there. Good defensive play there by the defensive front.
2nd down and 9 for the Blue Devils. Rocket in the game. Rogers looking for running room, but he is finally brought down by the Trojan defenders.
This creates a pretty interesting situation, Doug. That was pretty much you actually lost a little bit of yardage. So now you've got 3rd down and 10 here. Once again, now I think this particular play, determining or according to how many yards Water Valley picks up on this play, is going to decide whether or not they go for it on 4th down.
3rd and 10 now.
Need to kind of hurry up now. This play's coming in a little bit late.
Hawkins the wide out. Double tight end set.
Delay of game. I knew it. It was getting close.
Penalty marker on the play.
So now instead of 3rd and 10, you're going to have 3rd and 15. There's been several delay of game penalties tonight in this game, which there again, Doug, you're halfway through the season, and these kind of penalties, you shouldn't have this problem.
Third down and 15 now from the 47, I'll make it to 43 of the Trojans. Two receivers in the contest now, Rocket and Hawkins. Rogers gives it to Rico Gillard. Gillard looking for a room. He cuts it up, takes it down inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line. He gains a nice chunk of that back.
Interesting decision here for Coach Drury. He's contemplating now. And so now you're right, Doug. He gained a good bit of that back. He gained almost half of that back. So now it's 4th down and a long 5. Maybe let's call it 4th down and 6.
4th and about 6 yards to go here for the Blue Devils. Ball resting on about the 32-yard line of the Trojans. Rogers. Oh, the end around to Charlie Edwards, and he read it exactly perfectly. Excellent defensive play there by number 18 for the Bruce Trojans.
Well, that's a good example, Doug.
Maurice Thornton.
Good example, Doug, of staying at home. Play goes away from you, but as a defender, you have to stay at home and look exactly for that. And Bruce played that perfectly.
1st and 10 Trojans now going the other way.
Now Bruce calls a timeout, Doug. They didn't have the personnel on the field.
Timeout Trojans, and we'll be back right after this. First and 10 Trojans, penalty marker on the play.
Yeah, number 20, the fullback for Bruce. He jumped too quick, Doug.
Number 20, DeFurl Justice. 1:53 left to go in the 3rd period of play. 13-7 Blue Devils. 1st and 15 now for the Trojans. From their own 29.
We've kind of settled in now to a kind of a defensive struggle.
First and 15 for the Trojans from their 29. Stevens pitches back to Mims. Oh, the ball is loose. The ball is still loose. It is a mass. Humanity falls on it. I believe the Trojans recover.
Yeah, they did.
But it was rolling free back there inside the 20 all the way back to about the 17-yard line.
I just think, Doug, the running back just missed it. It didn't look to be that bad of a pitch. It may have been a little high, but still it was out in front of the running back. I think he just took his eye off of it. I think just started to run before he actually had the ball.
2nd and about, 20-something, 24 now. From way back at about the 17-yard line. And they try to go up the middle, and they're just...
That's a fumble, Doug. I see beanbags coming in here.
Fumble on the play. The Devils may have gotten this one. Let's see if we had get an indication.
Yes, I did.
And there it is. The Blue Devils do recover.
Doug, excuse me, Doug. Anytime you see the referees throw those white beanbags into a crowd like that, that indicates the ball is on the ground.
1st and 10 Blue Devils now. Ball resting on the 14-yard line, I believe it is. No, actually, that's going to be about the 18-yard line, I believe.
I really think it's important, Doug, that Water Valley needs to take advantage of this. And Bruce has to burn another timeout because they had too many people on the field, so now they're down to 1 timeout left.
And we'll take a break and be right back. Ball resting on the 19-yard line, I believe, of the Trojans. Allen and Gillard in the backfield. Rocket out to the right. They give it to Pierre Allen. Pierre Allen up the middle with a running room. Pierre Allen breaks into the open and touchdown Blue Devils. 19-yard TD run by Pierre Allen.
Well, Doug, I tell you what made that play. There were 2 Bruce defenders there that was ready to stop that play at the line of scrimmage. But now this is the difference between Pierre and Rico. Pierre has that knack. I don't know how you explain it, but he has that knack of making that first defender miss. And that's exactly what happened there.
Timeout, Blue Devils. We'll keep it here as Coach Drury may discuss going for 2 here.
Well, Water Valley has had 1 missed extra point, so general rule of thumb is you go for 2 here to try to get back in sync, so to speak. If you make the two-point conversion here, you're up 21-7. And so, like we said, the general rule of thumb here is most people would tell you that in this situation, you go for 2.
To get it to where you have to score twice and get a PAT to
both times, exactly. And but let's get back to that run with Pierre, what we were talking about. Rico is more of an aggressive runner. In other words, he hits the hole square, full speed. He tries to get what he can get. He doesn't really do a lot of finesse running. Pierre's a little bit different. He's more of a finesse runner. He's got good quickness and good speed, as we saw once he got on the corner, and he has that knack of making that first defender miss. Bruce had 1 or 2 defenders right there to make the play, but he was able to make a miss, and then once he cleared that first line of defense, then he had the corner and was able to score.
Looks like the Blue Devils will go 4-2 here.
Now, they've requested to have the ball on the far hash, so that tends to lead Bruce to believe that they may try to run some sort of flood pass to this right side.
Lee Mix in the contest. At a tight end, a single back. Rogers rolling to his right. He had Charlie Edwards open, and the pass is incomplete.
Just overthrew him a little bit, Doug.
And the two-point conversion is no good, and that leaves your score 19-7 in favor of the Blue Devils here toward the end of the second half. And we'll hold here with you as they get set for the second half kickoff, or the kickoff after the touchdown here momentarily.
Well, that score came, Doug, with 53.1 to go in the third quarter. So didn't quite run out to complete quarter there, but you came real close. So for the most part, Bruce is going to get the ball late here in the third, probably with about 45 seconds to go in the third quarter. So it's going to pretty much come down to the fact that Bruce is going to have the ball in the fourth quarter, needing 2 scores.
Definitely the case, and also Bruce needs to try to get their transmission back in drive instead of reverse.
They're a little bit shook right now, Doug, and I'm sure Coach Grubbs realizes that, and so he's trying to get them over there on the sideline, regroup, settle down. Let's get back to what we're accustomed to doing, and forget about all those mistakes that we made. Crucial mistakes they may be, but it's history, and let's settle down, guys. Let's get back into our flow. And there's really no reason, if you're Bruce, there's really no reason to abandon the game plan as a whole. Just eliminate the mistakes.
Number 28, Rico Gillard, set to kick off for the Blue Devils. There goes the whistle. Oh, and it's a short kick. The ball's still loose. There's a wrestling match going on for it down there on the bottom of the pile. And the Trojans recover, luckily for them, because that ball was still loose when the players converged on it. And that would have been a crushing blow there had the Blue Devils recovered.
Well, I really don't believe Rico intended to do that. I think he just didn't hit it solid, and it wound up being a real short kick. The good side of that is that Bruce wasn't able to set up their return. The downside of it, though, they were able to recover the ball, and they've got good field position.
Ball on about the 42-yard line of the Trojans. 1st and 10 now with about 53 seconds left in the third quarter of play.
New formation here, Doug. We got trips out to the right.
Stevens hands it off to Gladney. Gladney stood up over there by number 13, Casey Rogers, at about the 40-yard line, but not before he gains the first down.
Once again, Doug, Bruce is attacking the corners of the Water Valley defense.
First and 10 now for the Blue Devils, or for the Trojans rather, from the Blue Devil 42-yard line. Clock running here. This could be close to getting down toward the end of the quarter. 3 receivers to the left this time. Lone back in the backfield. Stevens back to pass, under tremendous pressure, gets the pass off, and it is incomplete. Intended for number 6 out there in the flat.
That's Gillespie, Doug, and he's
Brand.
And number 8 there for Bruce is really limping, and it looks like he's got a little ankle problem.
Second down now, 2nd down and 10 from the 42.
Pretty good coverage there by Water Valley's defense. There again, I think the quarterback Stevens threw that ball a little bit quicker than he wanted to because he was under good pressure.
Jeremy Rocket was on top of him.
I've always said that that's the best pass defense in the book, is to just put heat on that quarterback and make him try to disrupt his timing.
Once again, triple receivers left. Single back in the backfield. Stevens hands it off to Glaspie. Glaspie looking for running room. Penalty marker on the play. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 30, which is going to be close to first down yardage depending on what the penalty is.
They're looking over toward Water Valley. It may be a face mask. Oh,
blocking the back by the Trojans. That'll negate a fine run there.
If I'm not mistaken, Doug, and I may be wrong here, but there is a difference between a block in the back and a clip. Block in the back is just more of a push in the back. A clip is more of a hit in the back, and I think a clip is a 15-yard penalty as compared to a block in the back is a 10-yard penalty. So that penalty is marked off from the spot of the foul, and like you said, Doug, it negated a first down run.
A clip is actually a block below the waist, is it not?
Yeah, and from the rear also.
After the penalty, second down now and about 8 from the 39. Stevens back to pass. No, he gave to Glaspie, and Glaspie is just drilled for a couple of yards loss, and that's the end of the third quarter play. 19-7 your score in favor of the Blue Devils. We'll be back with the fourth quarter of play right after this. Trojans with the ball now, 3rd and 11 at the Blue Devil 42. Stevens hands it off to the first man through, and is he stuffed. Big Josh Sims and Lee Mix just hammering.
Now that's how you tackle right there, Doug.
And unfortunately, Big Josh is slow to get up.
I think he was just the last one on the pile, but you said it, boy. Great defensive play there by Josh and Lee Mix. Good job of reading that play.
Fourth down now, fourth down at about 13. Ball back at about the 44-yard line now. And the Trojans in punt formation. Low kick. Going to hit and roll down to about the 20-yard line where the Blue Devils will take over 1st and 10.
Good job there by Water Valley's defense, Doug. They were able to force Bruce into a punting situation, and once again, Water Valley takes over with the ball, but this time they're deep in their own territory. And again, I'm sure Coach Drury all he wants to do is let's put a drive together here and run some time off the clock and try to punch one in here. If somehow the Blue Devils could to score one more time, it would really put Bruce in a pretty pressure situation, so to speak. They'd more or less pretty much have to open their offense up a little bit.
First and 10 Blue Devils now from the 20. Can't see who had the ball.
Well, Casey fumbled the snap, Doug. He fumbled the snap, dropped the snap, so all he did was just pick it up and just try to get what he could get.
Gained maybe a yard on the play.
Casey may have pulled out from under center just a little too quick.
2nd and 9.
I think it's really important, Doug, that Water Valley get a couple of first downs here. Just it's a simple fact that if they have to punt it away, they won't have to punt it out so deep out of their own end zone.
Second and 10 now for the Blue Devils from the 21. Penalty markers on the play.
That generally means that your offense is in motion.
Illegal procedure against the Blue Devils.
now Water Valley is forced into a second and long situation.
Second and about 15. Rogers on the option keeper, looking for running room, gets it up to about the 20. Gets maybe the penalty yardage back.
Tell you, Doug, I don't know if I've ever seen a high school game where field position has been pretty critical. Bruce turned the ball over deep in their own territory and gave Water Valley a short field to work with. Now Water Valley's got third and long deep in their own territory, so field position is really becoming a factor in this game.
Third down now and 10 from about the 20. They hand it out to Rico Gillard, and he breaks it out. There's a penalty marker, though. Gillard is tackled up at about the 49-yard line, but there's a penalty marker thrown back around the 30. So let's see what that one is.
It's going to probably be a hold. Boy, a lot of penalties in this game.
Holding call against the Blue Devils is the call. That negates a fine run there by Rico Gillard.
Well, the good thing about it is the penalty, I believe, took place well past the line of scrimmage. I mean, it's still going to come back and be third down, but it might not be third and too terribly long here.
Ball goes all the way back to about the 15-yard line, which will bring up about 3rd and 15. $9:26 to go in the fourth quarter. 19-7 Blue Devils. Penalty markers on the play. See who, this time I believe the penalty may be on the Trojans. Nope, legal procedure against the Blue Devils again.
Well, I wonder what it is about that end of the field. Because Bruce had the ball down on that end of the field, and they couldn't do nothing right. Now Water Valley can't do nothing right.
Third down now at about 20. Now one of the officials, back judge, I believe it is, wants to talk to the referee.
Whatever it was a short conversation with Coach Drury over on the sideline.
Third and 20. And they just go straight up the middle. Take the ball up to about the 16-yard line.
Now remember, Doug, the last time Water Valley punted to Bruce, Bruce was able to return a pretty good punt, or get off a pretty good return. Now, once again, field position is fixing to swing toward Bruce's side here.
Bruce should come out of this with excellent field position on the 4th and about 15 here. Charlie Edwards will be forced to kick from deep in his own end. Good snap, critical here.
He's going to get the ball on about the 5.
Gets a good snap, gets a foot in it, driving. Picks it up about the 50 and slips down at about the 45.
Good punt there, Doug. It had pretty good distance on it, but one thing you like about that punt too also, Doug, it was kind of toward the sideline, so it really didn't give Bruce time to really set up their return, and that sideline kind of acts as an extra defensive player there. But you're absolutely right, though. Bruce now inherits the football on the Water Valley 45-yard line. That's good field position as we got 8:35 now to go in the ball game. Keep in mind now, Bruce needs 2 scores, so they have to kind of get into a little bit more of an urgency mode.
1st and 10 for the Trojans from the Water Valley 45-yard line. Once again, they go with this formation that they used the last time. Trips to the right. They pitch it back to Mims. Ball on the ground. He's able to pick it up. Oh, my goodness. He got hammered.
Good job by the running back, though. He took that lick and kept going.
Took it and kept going.
Was able to pick up about a yard.
Second down now and about 12 as he lost a couple on that.
Ball for 1 will be 2nd and 11.
Gillespie the lone back in the backfield. Stevens hands it off to him. And he's tackled at about the 40.
Well, Doug, what Bruce is basically doing is they're showing you a new formation with the 3 wide receivers to this side, but it's basically the same offense they've been running. They've been running the sweeps, and it's just kind of like student body right, so to speak, and they're just using those 3 wideouts as lead blockers.
Third down now, third down and about 6. 7:18 left to go in the contest. 19-7 Blue Devils.
And I think if you're Coach Grubbs here, if you come up short here, I still think you're going to have to be forced to go with it on 4th down.
Give it to Brand, number 6, and he is tackled from behind there by Albert Horton.
Well, that's a great play by Albert Horton. He had a guy in his face blocking him. He was
penalty marker comes in late. Not sure what that was, but with it coming in that late, quite possibly that could be somebody's mouth got away from him. I see the officials talking.
I think Coach Grubbs thinks it's on Bruce.
Unsportsmanlike against the Trojans.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Trojans.
Now, Doug, now that was 3rd down, right, that it just ran. Now, unsportsmanlike conduct is a post-play foul, or it's a dead ball foul. In other words, that foul took place after the play is over with, so the down counts. So what's going to happen now is you'll mark off the penalty, and it's still going to be 4th down.
4th down, the ball goes back to the Trojan 44-yard line, where it'll be 4th down and about 20 for the Trojans. Low snap. Punter gets off a punt that's going to roll all the way down to about the 35-yard line, where the Trojans down it, and the Blue Devils will take over 1st and 10 at their own 35.
Not to be negative toward the Bruce punter, for Bruce number 18, Tom Thornton, number 18 Thornton. But back when I was punting, we just called that a shank. And it works out good for Water Valley now, because now you take over the ball with 6:47 now to go in the game. Pretty good field position at about the 35, maybe the 34-yard line. And the main thing now, Doug, is you want to protect the football. If you go 3 and out, fine, but don't put that football on the ground.
Fumble on the play, and Casey Rogers, I believe, managed to come up with his own fumble.
Once again, Doug, I hate to belittle the point, but we're halfway through the season now, and you should not be having fumble center exchange problems, and that's what's going on here. I don't know if Casey's pulling out too quick. I don't know if the center's not getting the ball up to Casey, but it's just a matter of focus and concentration.
2nd down now and 11. Give it to the first man through, and that's Pierre Allen, and he goes nowhere. Stopped there by Thomas and Crockett.
I got official
timeout on the play. We'll be back with more after this. 5:55 to go in the contest. 19-7 Blue Devils. Blue Devils with the ball, third down now, and about 13. And Casey is dropped in the backfield. Big play there by DeFera Justice.
Once again, I think the field position really limited to what kind of offensive play you could have called. If it had been 3rd and 13, say out here about Bruce's 45, you might have could have gotten a little bit more wide open with it. But when you're in your own territory like that, you really just don't want to take the chance. And once again, now to me, this is a crucial play right here, simply because clicking down now to 5:18, 5:17 to go in the game. Bruce is down 2 scores, and you just wonder if they're going to come after the block.
High snap. Edwards just gets it off. High booming kick hits and is down at about the 47-yard line of the Blue Devils. Well, the Trojans will take over 1st and 10.
Well, in that particular instance, Doug, you kind of know the punt block is coming, so really all you're really cared about is just get it off. Now, this particular punt wasn't a very long punt, but it was a good high punt. It was short, but it was a good high punt. And once again, Bruce not able to set up their return. And so now we're 5:05 to go. And if I'm Bruce's coach Mark Grubbs, I have to really start getting in a hurry here, because you still got to have 2 scores.
1st and 10 Trojans. Stevens back under pressure. Gets the pass out to Brand. Brand is tackled at about the 45-yard line of the the Blue Devils.
Smart play there by number 6 there. He got out of bounds, and that stops the clock.
Gained about 3 on the play. Call it 2nd and 7.
And the thing is, Doug, with Water Valley now, you're up 2 scores here, and if they want to throw it 3 or 4 yards in front of your defense, fine, go ahead, let them do that all night long. Try to keep them in bounds, of course, but you don't want to give up the big long play here and allow the quick score. You want to you'll give them that 3 and 4 yard out all night long, because it's going to be hard to catch up that way. Now you're going under 5 minutes.
Gillespie pitch it back to Mims. Mims looking for the corner. He's finally tackled down around about the 40.
I think I saw a flag come in again, Doug.
Let's see what I see one on the ground. You are correct. Let's see what that call is. Came in on the backside of the play. Personal foul, face mask against the Blue Devils. And that moves the the Trojans on down inside the Blue Devil territory to about the 25-yard line.
You certainly didn't want that, Doug, now, because now Bruce just gained 15 yards and not 1 second of the clock ran off.
And the Devil defense had been doing a fair job holding at that point. Stevens rolling, looking downfield, has a receiver open. Oh my goodness, what can you say about that? But an excellent play there by number 9, Jamison Evans. You got to give him all the credit in the world.
Yeah, he hung with it, Doug. Solomon had good coverage. He was right there underneath him. He was actually in position to make an interception there, but he just tipped it up, and this great concentration there by the Bruce receiver. And that's exactly what you didn't want to do if you're Water Valley, man. That gives them a quick score. 4.5 minutes now to go in the game, and now Bruce is right back in it. They're in it big time.
DeFera Justice now for the extra point attempt. Oh my goodness, and the Blue Devils did they jump or were they drawn? They jumped.
This is an important extra point, though, because if he makes this extra point, Bruce can score a touchdown and win. Whereas if he don't, they still have to they'll have to score a touchdown to tie, and then of course the PAT pending after that.
And the kick is up. And the kick is good, and that makes the score the Trojans 14, the Blue Devils 19. And the Blue Devils really got to try, and a score would be nice, but the biggest thing you need to do here is eat clock. A couple of first downs and hold on to the ball.
I think your strategy changes a little bit now, Doug. Touchdown now by Bruce puts them in the lead. So I really think you got to try to get a score if at all possible. Blue Devils are expecting an onside kick, but there it is.
And the Blue Devils fall on it. Brandon Hawkins able to fall on it.
I don't think it wound up not going 10 yards anyway, Doug. But good job there by Brandon. Water Valley had the had the hands return team on. In other words, that means you had your people out there that's real good handling the football. And in that situation, all you want to do now is just cover the football. But here's the thing now. Water Valley's got the football, and they're on Bruce's side of the field. They're just inside the 50-yard line here with great field position. And there again, I don't know if I'd go into a conservative mode all the way. I still try to punch one in here. And if you score one here, you can put Bruce away. Protect the football is key.
1st and 10 from the 49-yard line of the Trojans. Allen and Gillard in the backfield.
Delay of game.
Penalty markers on the field, and delay of game penalty. And now that one just puts you in the hole right off the bat. 1st and 15 from the 46.
Look at Bruce's defense, son. They're stacking that line of scrimmage.
Fumble on the play. Casey Rogers grabs a hold of it and manages to make a little something out of what could have been nothing. Gets the ball back up to midfield. Gains back the penalty yardage. And we were extremely lucky there that Casey was able to pick that up.
I tell you, Bruce's defense, they are stacking that line of scrimmage. They're not respecting the pass at all from Water Valley here.
Blue Devils going with a double tight end set. They hand it to Rico Gillard. Gillard looking for running room. Just not a lot there over that right side. He didn't even gain a yard.
I tell you, Doug, you really got Bruce set up right here for a play-action pass if you think you can get it off, because, like I said earlier, they are not respecting the pass at all. They're lining that line of scrimmage up right with all kind of defensive players on the ball. Now, the key here is going to be, if you do throw it, you've got to give Casey some time, because they're going to be coming with the pressure.
Charlie Edwards in the game at one tight end. Allen and Gillard in the backfield. 3rd down and 10 now. Rogers straight ahead. Gillard gains a few yards inside Trojan territory to about the 48-yard line maybe. It's going to bring up 4th down now and about 7.
Coming up on about 250 now and counting, Doug.
And the question here is, do you try to pin them deep? Evidently, that is what Coach Drury is going to try to do, as Charlie Edwards is in the game.
And they may take the delay of game penalty here, Doug, just to run more time off the clock. I believe that's what they're going to do. They're going to go ahead and take the penalty here. Keep in mind now, Bruce had to burn 2 timeouts early in the 3rd quarter, so they shouldn't have but just 1 timeout left.
Penalty marker thrown, and that's going to be the delay of game penalty, which will make it 4th and about 12 actually. Ball resting on at about the 49-yard line.
Now right here, Doug, Bruce is going to come after the punt, so now your linemen have got to get in there foot to foot and really got to do a good job of protecting, because they're coming after the punt.
Low snap. Edwards gets it off, and it goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line. With 2 at the 27, actually.
That was almost disaster. It was a low snap, and Charlie just And they had a guy coming unattested to the punter. I think Charlie actually felt it, and he just picked it up and punted it. And like I said, if it goes out of bounds at the 25 or the 30, fine. But you didn't allow the punt block, and you didn't allow a return.
And now you're forcing the Trojans to go 70-something yards here for a score with 2:15 left and only one timeout.
Well, you saw they had the ability for a quick strike. You just can't allow the deep ball.
Downfield. Oh, that's going to be intercepted. Oh, goodness, it almost was. Casey Rogers. If Brandon Hawkins hadn't got it his way, I think Casey would have intercepted it. I think that's what Casey was.
Well, you can't fault either one of them, man. They were both going for the football, and that's fine. That's what you're taught to do. That's what you're supposed to do. Casey's not upset with Brandon. He's just upset because
he didn't catch the ball.
The Blue Devils didn't get a turnover there.
2nd and 10 now. 2:07 left on the clock.
Well, if you're Bruce too, you're also in 4-down territory regardless now. So they've got 2nd down, 3rd down, and 4th down now to try to pick up the 1st down. And I think that's key. They need to at least get a couple of 1st downs.
Trips to the right. Stevens back to pass. Has a receiver open. Excellent pass coverage there by Rocket. They thought he got there a little early, but he got there just as the ball did, and he broke the pass up. 3rd down and 10.
Well, I know it's not my job, but I don't necessarily agree with what Coach Scruggs is doing here. He's going for the home run ball these first 2 downs, and he's still got a 3rd down and 10. Now he's got 2 downs to pick up 10 yards. And so Water Valley, of course, their defense is back rather deep, so the middle should be there. Granted, it's not 20 or 30 yards, but the middle's there. But every time you get a 1st down, the clock's going to stop.
Stevens back, under pressure, gets it off, and he drops it. Wide open out there in the flat. Number 19 for the Trojans. That's James Wright, and he just dropped it.
That's it. Just flat, dropped it.
Hit him right in the hands. 4th down now and 10.
But that's a perfect example now, Doug, of what I was telling you. The underneath is wide open. The 10-yard out is there because we've got 3 safeties back deep trying to prevent the long ball. And when Bruce breaks this huddle, if I'm Water Valley on defense, I look for where number 9 is because he's the go-to guy.
Jamison Evans trips to the left side. Stevens back, under pressure, gets it off. They got almost intercepted by Casey Rogers as he overthrew Evans.
Well, Doug, to be honest with you, it's probably just as good that Solomon didn't catch that pass because now Water Valley takes over possession now. 1st down deep in Bruce's territory. And I believe the Bruce faithful here think that's pretty much it. With 1:52 now to go in the football game. Bruce only has 1 timeout left, if I'm not mistaken.
1st and 10 now for the Blue Devils from the 28-yard line, I believe.
And there again, too, Bruce they may have been trying to do what Water Valley tried to do at the end of the 1st half, is at least try to get the ball up to midfield. At least they have a couple of shots at striking a big one in the end zone.
Blue Devils go with 3 backs in the backfield. They give it to Gillard. Gillard looking for running room, and he finds none as he tries to dive forward for some yardage.
Bruce just called a timeout, and that should be their last.
2nd down and 12 here as the Devils get stuffed on the run. And while conventional wisdom lane says you just kind of run the ball here and run the clock out, and maintain possession, there's a penalty marker.
When we got a formation here that we're not accustomed to seeing from Water Valley, they've gone with the full backfield.
Officials having the conference there. 2nd and 12.
Well, Bruce definitely jumped. There's no doubt about that. But I believe Bruce is claiming that they were pulled offside.
Illegal procedure against the Blue Devils.
Casey may have head bobbed a little bit. Keep in mind, too, Doug, every time there's a penalty, too, that also stops the clock.
Rogers looking for running room, trying to get to the outside. And he's finally tackled down at about the 25-yard line. Gain maybe a couple of yards back to the original line of scrimmage.
I think,
third and 10.
Yeah, I think I think Water Valley will go for it on third and fourth down, knowing that they probably won't make it. But the main thing is they get the clock running, and then probably on fourth down, don't be surprised if they don't take a delay of game penalty here. That's going to be on Water Valley, too.
The whole offensive line almost jumped. Under a minute to play. Illegal procedure against the Blue Devils.
And see that the clock was ticking, it was ticking down, and now that you've committed this penalty, you stop the clock, and clock's your ally here.
Third down now. Third down and about 15. Ball resting on about the 32-yard line. Loose football, and the Blue Devils recover.
That thing went right through Casey's hands. So now let's look at the clock now. It's 43-42. Let's see when the referee blows it in play.
Lee Mix with his head about him, falls on it, and retains position.
Right, the ball is the play is called in play with 35 seconds and counting. So you got 25 seconds now to get that off. So they should have a delay of game penalty here now with about 10 seconds to go.
And that is exactly, I think, what the Blue Devils are intending on doing, is taking the delay of game penalty. And it is about to occur. He goes under 10 at 8. 8 seconds exactly. They stop it for the delay of game penalty.
And then what you'll see here is you'll see Water Valley take this penalty, and they'll just go ahead and probably just snap it, let Casey drop back a little bit, take a couple, 2 or 3 seconds off, and then take a knee. So Bruce will get the ball back now with about time to run one play.
Trojans get the ball back at their own 39-yard line with 5.1 seconds left on the clock. And the Blue Devil defense is going to be playing prevent.
Yeah, you'll back your linebackers up. You'll definitely back your defensive backs back way up, and you just the cardinal rule here is do not let anybody get behind you.
First and 10, 5.1 seconds.
And the Trojans have no timeouts. Number 9 is on the outside edge. That's the man to watch. Evans. Stevens heaves one up, intended for Evans. He makes the catch, but he's knocked out of bounds, and the time expires, and the Blue Devils sneak out of town with a victory.
I tell you something, Doug, he caught that ball and broke the initial first tackle. It's a good thing Casey was there, because if he wasn't, he spun out of that tackle and he was fixing to go.
Definitely a possibility. The Blue Devils get out of here with one. 19-14 your final score.